Functional movement and energy efficiency. Movement is life. This simple truth is foundational to human vitality, yet in modern society, the majority of energy depletion arises not from a lack of calories or sleep alone, but from inefficient or misaligned movement patterns. Functional movement, the capacity to move the body through space with strength, stability, coordination, and control, is one of the most powerful levers for generating sustainable energy, enhancing physical resilience, and supporting mental and emotional well-being. Beyond aesthetics or raw athleticism, functional movement creates an energetic economy. It allows the body to perform work with minimal waste, optimizes circulation, supports neurological efficiency, and builds the foundation for enduring physical and psychological energy. At its core, functional movement reflects the integrated operation of the musculoskeletal, neurological, and metabolic systems. Muscles do not operate in isolation, they function in kinetic chains. Tendons, ligaments, joints, and neural networks work together to produce smooth, efficient motion. Inefficiencies, whether due to poor posture, weakness, imbalance, or injury, force the nervous system to overcompensate. This overcompensation manifests as fatigue, strain, and energy leakage, even in everyday activities such as walking, lifting, or sitting for extended periods. Functional movement is energy optimization, the body moving in its natural biomechanical design with minimal friction, maximum force generation, and sustainable endurance. The nervous system is the conductor of movement and energy. Motor planning, proprioception, and reflexive stability all require neural computation. When movement patterns are inefficient, the brain must recruit additional motor units, generate corrective impulses, and constantly monitor balance and alignment. This increases the metabolic cost of motion and accelerates fatigue. By contrast, when functional patterns are developed, the nervous system operates more economically, conserving energy for cognitive and emotional performance. Functional movement thus directly links physical mechanics with energetic capacity, highlighting the profound connection between body, brain, and vitality. Key principles of functional movement include mobility, stability, strength, coordination, and flow. Mobility is the capacity of joints to move through their full anatomical range without restriction. Limited mobility, whether from sedentary behavior, repetitive strain, or previous injuries, creates compensatory patterns that drain energy. For instance, restricted hip mobility forces the lumbar spine and knees to absorb extra torque during squatting or walking, generating chronic fatigue, microinjury, and inefficient force transfer. Enhancing mobility liberates energy by allowing natural motion and reducing unnecessary muscular and neural effort. Stability is the ability to control joint position through range of motion. It is the yin to mobility's yang. Without stability, increased mobility becomes chaotic, leading to energy leaks and strain. Core stabilization, scapular control, ankle and hip joint integrity, and dynamic balance are all components of stability that ensure the body moves in a controlled, energy-efficient manner. Stable joints and postures reduce muscular overactivity, minimize compensatory neurological firing, and maintain energetic balance, particularly in complex or high-load movements. Strength is not merely the ability to lift heavy weights, it is the capacity to exert force effectively across functional patterns. Strength amplifies energy efficiency because it allows movements to be executed with lower relative effort. When muscles are weak or imbalanced, small tasks consume disproportionate energy, leaving less reserve for sustained activity or cognitive engagement. Properly developed strength across the kinetic chain provides a foundation for energetic economy. Movements require less conscious effort, energy waste decreases, and fatigue is delayed. Coordination integrates mobility, stability, and strength, allowing multiple joints and muscle groups to work synergistically. Neural timing, sequencing, and proprioceptive awareness ensure that force is transmitted along optimized pathways. Poor coordination results in energy dissipation, unnecessary muscular tension, and increased injury risk. Enhancing coordination through functional drills, multiplanar movement, and neuromuscular training creates fluidity, efficiency, and an internal energetic coherence that extends beyond exercise into daily life. Flow, or the ability to connect sequences of movement seamlessly, is the culmination of functional training. When the body moves in a state of flow, energy is conserved across tasks, transitions are smooth, and both physiological and neurological efficiency peak. Athletes often describe this as being in the zone, but flow is accessible to anyone practicing functional patterns with awareness. Flow represents an energetic state where body and mind align, where effort is optimized, and where vitality expands naturally without forceful exertion. Functional movement also shapes metabolic energy production. Large muscle groups moving efficiently enhance circulation, improve oxygen delivery, stimulate mitochondrial activity, and optimize nutrient utilization. The cardiovascular and respiratory systems are engaged in a coordinated manner, allowing energy to be produced and distributed effectively. Movement inefficiency, by contrast, forces compensatory overactivation in certain muscle groups, increases anaerobic contribution unnecessarily, and accelerates fatigue. Functional movement is therefore not just a musculoskeletal concern, it is an energy system strategy. Energy efficiency is further enhanced through postural alignment. Modern sedentary behavior often leads to forward head posture, rounded shoulders, anterior pelvic tilt, and spinal misalignment. These postural deviations disrupt force transmission, increase muscle tone in compensatory areas, and elevate basal energy expenditure just to maintain upright posture. By restoring alignment through corrective functional movement, the body can maintain stability and movement with less energy cost. Improved posture also enhances respiratory efficiency, reduces tension headaches, and supports autonomic nervous system balance, all of which amplify systemic energy. The nervous system also benefits from the proprioceptive feedback generated by functional movement. Awareness of joint angles, balance, and muscular engagement trains neural circuits, improving reaction time, coordination, and motor planning. Enhanced proprioception reduces cognitive load during movement, freeing mental energy for higher-order tasks. In this way, functional movement is not merely physical, it is neuroenergetic training. Functional movement enhances emotional and psychological energy as well. Physical competence and bodily awareness generate confidence, reduce fear of injury, and improve self-efficacy. Humans are wired to link bodily states with emotional states. Efficient, controlled movement reinforces calmness, focus, and resilience. Conversely, chronic dysfunction, tension, or instability produces subtle stress signals that drain emotional energy and reduce cognitive clarity. The body's capacity to move optimally is therefore a core determinant of overall vitality. Energy sustainability through movement is also influenced by load management and progressive adaptation. The body requires incremental stress to grow in efficiency, strength, and endurance. However, excessive load, repetitive strain, or inadequate recovery disrupts energetic homeostasis. Functional training emphasizes controlled progression, diverse movement patterns, and integrated rest, ensuring that energy is not squandered on injury repair or compensatory fatigue. The balance of challenge and recovery is critical to long-term vitality. Practical applications of functional movement include multiplanar exercises, compound movements, dynamic stability drills, mobility routines, core integration, and full-body coordination training. Examples include squats with proper alignment, lunges with rotational control, push-pull patterns engaging the shoulder complex, hip hinge mechanics, and balance sequences on unstable surfaces. These exercises simulate natural movement demands, engage multiple systems simultaneously, and cultivate efficient energy use in daily and athletic life. Functional movement also extends to everyday life tasks. Lifting groceries, climbing stairs, bending to pick up objects, or standing for prolonged periods all require efficient movement patterns. Individuals who cultivate functional competence experience less fatigue, reduced musculoskeletal pain, and more energy for sustained activity. The integration of functional principles into daily life transforms routine motion into a source of energetic optimization. Breath coordination during movement is another key aspect. Efficient movement patterns require synchronized breathing to enhance oxygen delivery, support core stability, and regulate autonomic tone. Breath holding or shallow respiration during exertion can increase sympathetic activation, accelerate fatigue, and compromise energy efficiency. Mindful breathing integrated with functional movement amplifies energy conservation and performance. Finally, functional movement fosters long-term resilience. A body trained to move efficiently is less susceptible to injury, more adaptable to physical stressors, and better able to maintain energy reserves for prolonged activity. This resilience extends beyond the physical domain, influencing cognitive performance, emotional stability, and overall life satisfaction. Energy generated through efficient, intentional movement is renewable, sustainable, and amplifies across multiple domains of human function. In summary, functional movement is a cornerstone of natural energy management. By enhancing mobility, stability, strength, coordination, flow, and alignment, it optimizes the interaction between the musculoskeletal and nervous systems. Efficient movement reduces energy waste, preserves cognitive and emotional resources, and maximizes systemic vitality. Functional movement is not merely exercise, it is an energy strategy, a method of harmonizing body, mind, and environment to sustain long-term strength, resilience, and vibrant living. Integrating functional movement into daily practice transforms ordinary activity into an abundant source of renewable energy.